All right, guys, today we're going to be looking at Cam Newton's throwing mechanics here. We're going to talk about this sequence with the front leg and how his hips come through and he gets him to this nice almost C-curve pathway when he rotates through. So you see how when he's here and he's starting to drive off of this back leg, right? In a nice relaxed position with this ball carriage, right? Now we're going to talk about this front leg when it decides to strike the ground, this front shoulder, and then how his back leg drives and rotates through. So you see how when he's here, right? He gets that front foot in the grass, right? His front foot's in the grass here when he's in this backstroke and he has that front shoulder closed, right? So that's the sequence that you want to try to get in here, because if you get that front foot down while you keep that front shoulder closed, that allows your hips to bring through this football, right? What a lot of people will do is they'll get that front foot down here, like you see when he's just now touching the ground, his shoulder's still closed. What guys will be like when they get the front foot down is they'll be in this L and then their front shoulder will be starting to come open, right? And then when your front shoulder swings open as your front foot's coming down and your hips trying to come through, that's how we lose torque, right? So if we could get my front foot down as I'm keeping that front shoulder closed, it's almost like a baseball swing. That's why you see guys like Jameis Winston swinging that baseball bat or whatever he was swinging, right? Because it's working on that sequence. Now my hips, you see how his hips are starting to rotate through here and drive with his hips to bring him through and bring that ball through, right? And you see here this position. The hip is coming through before the ball. The ball is chasing the hip and he's keeping that front arm nice and tight, so his release point is at a clean spot, right? Because if he were to be here, what a lot of people don't understand is if you swing that elbow down because you have an incorrect sequence, because your front foot wasn't down when your shoulders are closed, you just result to swinging your shoulders through because your shoulders come through before your back hip does, right? A lot of people Cam's got a unique throwing motion, don't get me wrong here, but those are some of the key points that definitely help him out with getting some throwing power, and you could tell he's working with that, okay? Great job keeping his head level, great job keeping that front hand nice and tight, and driving off that back leg, turning that ground force into rotational force. Let's watch it again here. So driving off that back leg, rotating through, front arm that stays nice and tight, correct sequence.